All right, this is the 1 week checkup of the red Wiggler migration bin using Food Burrito. All right, I think you can see this. This is where it was fed last. And I'll just stick it right there for now. Let's see how they're doing here. See if they've gone into the burrito. Oh, looks like they have or are attempting to get into it. Oh, I think they're attempting to get into it. I don't think a burrito. Oh, there's some worms in here that made their way through. Let's see how many there are. Really not that many that made their way through, it looks like. Oh, surprise, surprise to me. There are a bunch of red worms that made their way into the burrito. So what I'm going to do here, I am going to put a new burrito in. And then try it for another week. But this time I think I will put less newspaper around so it's easier for them to get in. So let's try that. Let's see, I have a newspaper already set up. That's how big it is. And I think I just put it in half. You want to see how many worms there are? There's just a ton of worms throughout here. You know, that's another thing I think I'll go ahead and mix them up a little bit so we can see what they're doing. Plus, it's so muddy, not muddy, but it's really wet on the bottom of the bin. So it'll be good to be tossed around just a little bit, just to aerate. And you can see how many worms there are in here. I'm thinking maybe if I left the burrito for another 2 weeks, it might be better than 1 week. But since I'm not making a big burrito, maybe that's another consideration as well. I think for me it's easier to keep track of them on the weekly basis rather than every other week. So this is the pistachio shell. So I'm going to take it out. All right, so let's make up our food burrito. I think it's working pretty well for what it is. Plus the newspaper helps to take some of the moisture out of the bin. There again, I'm just putting a little bit of food down. That's what I normally feed them. A little bit of worm chow on the top. And let's wrap it up here. And I won't enclose any sides so it's easier for them to get into the burrito. All right, so I'll just cover it up. And it's covered well to keep the kind of fruit flies out. And that's it for this. I'll put the marker here so I know where they fed. And that's it for this bin. And let's check up on this bin. These are red worms. There's some red worms already in here. I think I fed them in the center. So a little bit of food in the center here. Plus the bedding needs to be worked over, so that is also food for the worms. I'm going to put this in the center. Let's see. Aerate this one first. Let's look at this again, where the worms are congregated. The newspaper's falling apart, so I don't know if you could see that, but it's just falling apart, and there's worms in there. And this will be their food for the week. This bin is nice and aerated. I think next week I will probably add more bedding, but this time it's fine. And I'm going to water it. This is mosquito dunk water. And we are good to go. And thank you for coming on this journey with me.